Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am showing you how you can enjoy a burst of summery sunshine on a grey, cold, rainy afternoon with this upside down orange cake, which quite frankly looks almost like flowers on top of a cake. It's just so beautiful looking, and it's not just beautiful. I mean, look how soft and fluffy this cake is. It is eggless and it is super easy to make, and I'm going to show you exactly how I made this from scratch. So here you go. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we are going to start working on making our orange slices. So I've taken the ends of the orange out, and now I'm going to just run my knife along the sides or the skin of the orange and take it off. But before I do that, as you may have noticed, this orange has had its zest removed. So it's always great that you take the zest out first, because we'll be using that to flavor the cake, and it's just perfect. It's the perfect way to flavor the cake very naturally. So don't forget to take the zest of the orange out before you start slicing or peeling the orange. Also make sure that the slices are pretty thick, because you don't want them to sort of disappear inside the cake. So having chunky slices is important. I have here an 8-inch cake tin which I have greased with some oil, and I have also lined the bottom with parchment paper. Now it's very important to line the bottom with parchment, because you do not want those orange slices to stick to the cake tin, because they will release their juices. And now I have placed them in a circular form inside the cake tin. As they bake, they will spread towards the outside of the cake, so make sure that they are all huddled together. Now we'll start working on the actual cake sponge. So here I have some yogurt, and in that yogurt I will also add some milk. These are both at room temperature, and I'll quickly give it a nice whisk until the yogurt and milk are well combined. This method, as I have previously mentioned, it's just another variation of my classic vanilla cupcake that I showed you last time. It's literally the best eggless vanilla cupcake ever, because it's so easy to make. Now into that I'm going to add some baking soda and baking powder. All the quantities are down in the description box below and on my website, so do check it out. I'll use the whisk again and just mix the baking powder and baking soda into the milk and yogurt mix until well combined. You'll already notice tiny bubbles starting to appear. Now I'm going to let this rest for a while we make our cake batter. So now in another bowl I'm going to sift my dry ingredients. So here I have some all-purpose flour. I'll sift that first, because as you can see the sieve is not quite large, so to speak, so I cannot really accommodate a lot of ingredients at once. So I'll sift it a little, and then I'll add my castor sugar, and then I'll sift it again. I'll add the castor sugar in tiny batches. Again, sifting the dry ingredients, that's the flour and the castor sugar, ensures that there are no large lumps of the sugar in the mix and everything is nice and uniform. Now I'll just give my dry ingredients a quick whisk so that everything is well combined. As you can see, my sugar and flour mix are well combined. So now it's time for us to flavor this with some orange zest. Now this is the zest of the 2 oranges that I have used in this recipe. Very important, and it also ensures that you're using most of the orange bits and nothing is going to waste. Now I'll just whisk this, making sure that the zest mixes throughout the dry ingredients. It really perfumes the cake and gives it such an intense and fresh citrus flavor. Oh my god, it is just amazing. Now I have added the softened salted butter, which was at room temperature. Very important for this to be at room temperature, so it's easy for you to mix it into the dry ingredients. I'm going to use my whisk and I'm going to cut that butter into the dry ingredients, making sure that all the dry ingredients are well coated in the butter. You'll know that it's well coated because the mix will start to resemble breadcrumbs or sand, like you can see right here. So that's when you know that you have mixed it well. Now this is my yogurt and milk mix, and look how fizzy and bubbly it's gone, which is perfect because this is going to add an incredible amount of lightness to our cake. And now I'm just going to pour this into my cake batter or the dry ingredients which will make the cake batter. I also like to use my spatula to make sure that I get all of that yogurt and milk fizzy mix inside this cake batter. Now gently, I'm going to fold the dry ingredients into the wet, making sure that there are no dry bits left. It's very important that you're gentle at this point. You do not want to knock out all of that air that we just created. Do not overmix the cake batter. When you see no more dry ingredients in the cake batter, you will swap your spatula for a whisk, and then counting to 30 seconds in your head, you will just whisk this batter really vigorously, making sure that there are no visible lumps and everything looks nice and smooth and silky. That's basically what your cake batter should look like. Our cake batter is now ready, and before I pour this into our prepared cake tin, I am just going to give it one last mix through with my spatula. Just fold it, combine everything from the sides so that everything is well mixed. Do not overmix, just scrape the sides and then pour this over the prepared tin containing the sliced oranges. I'm also going to use my spatula and just evenly spread the batter out so that it's leveled and it's not lopsided when it bakes. We will now bake this at 160 degrees Celsius or 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 hour. Now all ovens function differently, so 1 hour is the ballpark time. You may need 5 minutes more or less. Make sure you check for the doneness of the cake by inserting a skewer or knife in the center, and it should emerge clean. Let it rest at room temperature for about 20 minutes after it comes out of the oven. Then run a knife along the sides of the cake and then just invert it onto a cake stand or your serving plate and let it cool down completely before serving. Peel off the parchment paper and let the magic unfold. It's quite literally a burst of sunshine on a grey, cold, rainy afternoon, and it's so perfect with a cup of tea or coffee. I gobbled down several slices of this cake in a day and I have absolutely zero regrets. And I really hope that you make this cake at home because you are absolutely going to love it. I just love how the cake looks like there are flowers stuck on the top. Like those orange slices literally look like flowers. Look at what the cake looks like on the inside. This cake is like a pillow. The sponge is so soft and fluffy and incredibly tasty and very addictive. It's so perfect with a cup of tea and it comes together so quickly and so easily. I cannot wait. I just have to take a bite. And not just one bite, I'll be taking several bites of several slices of this cake. And I am so sure that when you make this cake at home, it will be very hard for you to resist it as well. So I really hope that you give this a go. If you're enjoying this video, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again next week with a brand new recipe. Until then, goodbye and happy baking.